Hi guys, this video is for the Beatitudes curriculum for Kids for Christ. This is week number 1. The overview of week number 1 is where Jesus heads up the mountainside to give his Sermon on the Mount, and he talks about the 8 different Beatitudes. Throughout this lesson, we're going to talk about how the Beatitudes were given as a recipe for life, for how we can live a blessed life, basically. So thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. Our focus, of course, is how Jesus is our ultimate teacher and therefore our role model. He's the one that can teach us the best way that we should live our lives, and we should strive to be like him. During this lesson, we are going to have a little scripted lesson that's in your different manuals here. We have K through 2, which is yellow. We have the 3rd and 4th, which is the green color, and we have the blue 5th and 6th grade curriculum. All of these are going to be the same lesson with a little bit of a different version depicted separately for the grade level that we're talking about. So for K through 2, which is again the yellow manual, they're going to have a little story that you're going to read out of the week 1 lesson plan, and then it goes in depth of the 8 different Beatitudes. It gives a student type explanation of what each of the Beatitudes are. During this, you're going to want to have your ring set. So you got 2 different ring sets. The first one actually will have our lesson picture, so you will need this. But the main one that you're going to need for this lesson is actually the other ring set. So it came on this ring here, and I'm going to go ahead and take them apart. We're going to be using all of these for our first lesson. So you should have 8 different pages. Each of the pages goes over one of the Beatitudes. The Beatitude is actually listed on the back. So God blesses those people who are meek, for the earth will belong to them. In other words, be humble. So that's what we're going to be teaching our kids. One of the Beatitudes is be humble. On the back side is a food. What we're going to be doing with this food during the Taste and See object lesson, we're going to be making a trail mix. So we're going to talk to the kids about how a recipe for life is what the Beatitudes are. It's a way that Jesus gave us some ingredients to live a blessed or a happy life. So we're going to split apart these 8 different Beatitudes and put them into alliterations, or in other words, an example here is the humble honey nut, so where they start with the same letter. If you don't have Honey Nut Cheerios, you can use anything that starts with H. However, you need to make sure that nobody in your class is allergic to it, and hopefully your coordinator will have this part worked out for you. But if you have any questions, you can go ahead and see her. Each of the different Beatitudes will be written on a poster like this. So during the Taste and See object part, you can actually just take a bowl, put your ingredient inside, use somewhat of a little scooper. These little measuring cup scoopers are great for that. And as the kids have their little bag, they're going to come through the line, and they're going to put each of their ingredients, or the different Beatitudes, 1 scoop in each, and at the end they should have a nice baggie full of Beatitude trail mix, and a good way to remember all of the 8 different Beatitudes. So that's a good way to do this Taste and See object lesson and make it pretty simple. If you need help finding the right ingredients, purchasing the right ingredients, getting reimbursed, you can see your coordinator, or you can email me. Most of you should have my contact information, so feel free to do that at any time, or your coordinator again. Like I said, the 3rd and 4th graders are going to have the same thing that the K through 2 do. They're going to do the Taste and See object lesson. The only thing that's a little bit different about this 3rd and 4th curriculum is that it has a couple things that are added. So the things that are added for the 3rd and 4th grade is, one of the things is the Reader's Theater script. So in your curriculum guide, the green one, there will be a Reader's Theater script. This one is 2 pages long. It goes by pretty fast, though. There is 7 different parts, 4 and 3 non-speaking roles. So again, you can use that if you would like to with your kids. It's a fun way to kind of add a little extra and get them role playing. But of course, you're going to do the same Taste and See object lesson and the same other activities that are written into your curriculum. Now the 5th and 6th grade this time is just a little bit different. Similar to the last couple times, we actually have them looking up Bible verses themselves. So the 5th and 6th grade curriculum, like always, is going to follow our Bibles. This this extreme faith version of the Bible that we have for you guys. The coordinators have them if you need them. You can do a class set, or you can just do one and read it with them. But it is a really good practice for them to look up the actual verses themselves. So you'll see in your blue manual here for 5th and 6th grade that there's a little section where you're actually going to be speaking to them, kind of setting up the story, and then there is some parts where they're going to be looking up the different verses. It goes through the Bible verses. Matthew 5 is where you're going to find those, and you can have each one of the students actually read a different beatitude and talk about what they think it means and come to some sort of a consensus on application to their life. There is also some points to ponder for them, so a little more in-depth discussion type material that you can have with them. The other thing that the 5th and 6th graders have is this student copy. This is in your manual, and if you need copies again, you can let your coordinator or myself know, and we can get them to you. But what this is really nice for is that if you're going to be reading the book to them, it kind of keeps them on track. They have to fill in the blanks so that they're making sure to stay with you. That's pretty much it for this first lesson, guys. I hope that you have a good time teaching these kids. Remember that we're trying to teach them to follow in Jesus' footsteps. Our memory verse for this week comes from Matthew 5, verses 1 through 2. Now, when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on a mountainside and he began to teach them. Teach being that key word. Jesus taught us so that we can go out and teach others, and he taught us because he loves us. And so my prayer for you guys would be this week to, I ask that you would teach them in a way that Jesus would teach us, which is full of love and full of excitement and full of passion. So I hope this week goes well for you guys, and please, again, let your coordinator know if we can be of any assistance to you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with week 2 in just a bit.